Good morning, everyone, and welcome to today's Python for Data Science Web and Core Programming Information session. Glad to see everyone here looking to learn about the proposed Python program that we're actually currently developing at UC Davis Continuing and Professional Education. Next slide, Alex, please. So here's the agenda for today. We're going to be going over the program for Python, the proposed program. So what that means is that we're currently developing it, and there's a few things that we need to solidify first, but we're going to be giving you an overview on what the program will entail, how many classes, and what the classes will be, so you can have a better idea on what we're going to be launching soon. And then we're going to talk about some career trends so you can see what you can do with the Python skills that you can learn from this program, as well as looking at some top trending skills that are in demand in the areas of the IT world, including data science, which is what this program will focus on. And then finally, we're going to wrap up with a Q&A. So you're welcome to ask questions along the way. Feel free to use the chat box below. And we also have a Q&A feature here in Zoom, so you can ask your questions in whichever way you like, and we'll make sure to get to them by the end of the session. So here's some quick contact information. If you have any questions about other programs, or you want to learn more about the Python program as it's being developed, and you want to talk to someone, you're welcome to contact our student services team. Their phone number is listed here above, and their email is also listed here above at cpeinfo@ucdavis.edu. Again, since the program is still in development, you will most likely get in contact with me, Lynette Velasco, if you have any questions, as I will be serving as the primary contact for this program. And here also joining me on this information session this morning is Alex.
Hi, everybody. We're really glad you're here. And yeah, as Lynette said, I'm Alex Lowry. I'm the Portfolio Director for Technology, Engineering, and Data. And we're very excited to be putting up this new Python program. And we're glad you're here. We're also going to ask some questions, as Lynette said, in polls in this session. And we'd love your feedback just to get some early sense of what people in our area want to learn about Python. We have the program set, but it'll help us to figure out how to emphasize and prioritize the courses as they launch.
Thanks, Alex. Next slide. So as Alex mentioned, we're going to be having polls here. So this is the first poll of the morning, and we just want to know, how did you hear about this program? Was it through email, social media? Did someone refer you to our programs at CPE, or did you just go to the website? So we just want to get an idea so we know where our audience is coming from. Just give it a few seconds to get the last votes in. Awesome. Okay, so I'm going to share the results so we can see where everyone is coming from. Oops, what just happened? Oh, looks like it reset. So if you guys can answer the question again, sorry about that.
So it's good practice.
Yeah, yeah.
I can confirm though that it was largely email.
Yes, that's what I saw as well. A good amount came from the website. That's good to see too, and social media. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you, everyone.
Perfect.
So the Python program that we are proposing is going to be a professional concentration program. And this program will have all of the courses fully online and instructor-led. So what that means is that you will have access to an instructor while you're taking the course, who you can ask questions to about the assignments and anything else going on with the course. And the instructor will also be grading the work. So this is not a learn at your own pace, self-study type of program. And it is also asynchronous, which means that the work will be assigned and due about every week. So you will not be required to attend live lectures. So you will have some freedom there to view the material at your own time, and just to be a little more flexible, since we know that a lot of our students are also working professionals. So this way it accommodates more to your schedule. Now, this program will be 5 courses long, and the program is meant to teach essential skills in Python, which includes the foundational skills you'll need to learn in terms of learning Python as a coding language, as a programming language, and learning all of the syntax. And then you'll move forward to be able to use those skills in deeper data focused aspects of Python. So using big data, data visualization, and all of that.
Hey,
And
Lynette, let me just say one
oh,
more
yeah.
thing too about this, and that is that um, you'll be seeing an instructor show you stuff in the videos that you can study at your own pace, and then there will be an instructor who can help you during office hours and other times in the course. So there's instructor feedback on your work. There's instructors helping you to unblock you as you get to some of the complicated aspects of working in the Python language.
Mm-hmm. Thanks for that, Alex. And the courses also will be, oh, that's fine. The courses are 5 to 7 weeks in length. That is the proposed pace for each of the courses. So they're not going to be as long as a typical quarter length course at UC Davis, which would be around 10 to 11 weeks. So these are shorter in length, but the amount of work is still there. So you can expect to have at least 3 hours of instruction and work to be doing every week. And of course, that varies on your existing skill level and familiarity with Python. And so speaking of the classes, these are some tools that we'll be using in this program. So of course, you will be using Python, open source software there to use. And Canvas is our learning management system where the classes will be hosted in. So that's where you'll be able to access the content, including the quizzes and the lectures and the assignments. But we'll also be using other open source software and tools, including Pandas, Jupyter, and Anaconda. So all of these will be used to manage larger data sets, work in like Jupyter notebooks, collaborative tools so that everyone can like work on code together, similar to GitHub, but more focused for data science. And so here are some key learning objectives for the Python, the Professional Concentration Program. As mentioned earlier, the intent of this program is for you to gain a strong foundation in Python. And of course, you start with the coding aspects of it, learning the syntax, but then you'll be moving into the data space, the data science space of it all, and just really learning the skills that you can apply in other areas. So for example, you'll be moving into data analysis with Python and using just large libraries to analyze that data and also be able to visualize it. So that's useful for someone coming from the business world, for example, who may need to be able to digest large amounts of data from the organization and be able to present it. Python, this program will give you the skills in Python to be able to do that, as well as learning to create web applications and also applications in analytics. So here are the proposed courses for this concentration. You'll begin with an introduction to Python programming, learning the basics of coding, all the simple syntax there, and then you'll be moving into intermediate Python where you'll learn more complex aspects of Python programming. And also to note, for this series, for this concentration, we understand that some people may be coming in with existing Python skills. So we will be able to work with those people who may just want to immediately begin with the intermediate course. So there will be room for that. And then so after you've taken the first two courses, just really learning Python as a programming language, you'll begin to move into Python for data analysis, where this will function as sort of an introduction to using Python for data analysis, such as learning linear regressions and starting to learn how to apply Python in that data space. And then you'll have the data structures, data mining, and big data with Python. And so as the name implies, you'll be working with large data sets and using those other online tools that we mentioned before to be able to synthesize that type of data. And then finally, the data preparation, modeling, and visualization with Python course, which again, as the name implies, you'll be using Python to create visual representations of that data that you will be working with. And so now we're going to launch another poll for everyone. And this poll is just asking if you have any Python experience. So since it is an open source software, a lot of people find courses to learn on their own online, or even just like watching some YouTube videos. So we're just curious to see where your experience lies with this.
And to be clear on this one, the first course is an introductory course, so you can come in with zero experience, or you can start later in the course set, as Lynette will explain, if you have some experience.
Right. Just give it a few seconds, just get some last people here. Okay, so I'll end that. And it looks like, let me see if I can share the results this time. Okay, there we go. So it looks like the majority of you do not have any Python experience. Okay, well and some are self-taught. Some have taken some courses. Some have learned on the job. Okay, that's good to see. Thanks, everyone. Next slide, Alex. Okay, so here's just a little bit more about the specifics for the courses. Again, since the program is still in development, there's some information that we won't share yet, including unit amount for the course. So for now, this is just an overview of what the course will have. So this course is planned to be a 7-week long course. And again, the basics of Python programming, just learning the very simple things such as variables, data structures, and functions that you'll be able to do by the end of the course. And then you'll be moving to the intermediate programming course. So this course will also be 7 weeks long, and the introduction to Python course will be a prerequisite, but if you have existing Python experience, then you will be able to take this course. And so in this course, as you can imagine, you will be using more advanced features of Python programming, specifically for data structures and learning to begin manipulating the data and being able to use Python in that area. And then you'll be moving into the introduction for Python for data analysis. So as mentioned earlier in the program overview with what courses will be required, this program will be leaning more towards the data side. So we're going to start with an introduction to data analysis before taking the next 2 data courses. And this course will be a little bit shorter. It will be 5 weeks long, and introduction to Python will be required unless you have existing Python experience. And in this course, you'll be learning to analyze and clean data using Python as the programming software, but also pandas, as mentioned earlier, for the online tools. Okay, so this course, Data Structures, Data Mining, and Big Data with Python, will be 7 weeks long, and introduction to Python is required. And in this course, you will be learning to manipulate data from SQL and other databases using Python connectors. And again, this comes from other open source softwares or applications that can be used for Python including Hadoop and Python and other areas and other softwares that in the course, you'll have the instructions on how to install it and how to use that and an instructor to guide you with that. And this course will also focus on cloud computing. So while you're learning using Python for data analysis, there will be an emphasis on cloud computing and how to solve problems that may come up with data related to it. So data preparation, modeling, and visualization with Python will be a 7-week course, and introduction to Python for data analysis is required. And in this course, you'll be learning to create visual analysis of data with Python. So again, I mentioned earlier that this would be great, you know, for someone who already works in a business where they need to create data visualization and other models, and Python will be used for that. And also in this course is where you'll be learning to import models, including logistic and linear models, to be able to create data visualization with Python. And so now that I've gone over the brief overview on what the courses will be for this program, wanted to ask everyone here in a poll if you're interested in taking individual courses or the entire program. So we know that some people have existing Python experience, so we want to see if they intend to just take a couple of courses or anything, you know, for their specific needs, or if, you know, you all want to just take the whole program. So just be waiting here just to get some last votes in. Okay, I'm going to share the results now. So it looks like the majority want to take the whole program, but there's a good amount that just need some individual courses, and some are not sure yet. And okay, that's good to know. Again, this program has not been launched yet, so this is good information for us to have to better suit your needs for this program. Okay, next slide, Alex. So as we mentioned, since the program is still in development, we do not have yet established concrete start dates for the courses, but here's the proposed timeline of when we want to launch. So introduction of Python would be at the end of spring, sometime in the middle or end of May. And then the intermediate Python course is hopefully scheduled to begin somewhere in midsummer. So that would be around mid-July. And then the Python for data analysis course is looking to start in early fall. So that's anywhere from, you know, late September to mid-October.
Right, this is where I take over,
back,
right?
Alex, actually.
What's that?
Can you go back real quick?
Oh, yes.
You know, talk about the.
Oh, yeah, sorry, skip
Yeah,
ahead.
that's fine. And so here's the proposed course progression that we want to have for this professional concentration. So you'll start with introduction to Python and then move to the intermediate course and then intro to data analysis. And then finally, you'll finish with the final 2 data courses. And so this is the recommended pacing for the program. So that would mean that you would complete the program in up to 4 quarters. Here at UC Davis, we're on the quarter system. So you would finish in about 9 months if you follow this format, but the courses can be taken at a different order. So it just depends on the frequency of the offer for these courses and when they're offered, that you would make your decision on what best suits you. And especially for those of you who have some experience with Python and, you know, you would be skipping the first course, there's some room for you to take courses in another format. But this will be the proposed pacing for the professional concentration program as a whole. So
perfect. Thanks, Lynette.
Yeah, you can go now, Alex.
Excellent, good, thank you. So what I'm going to talk about is the demand for Python as a skill in our area in Sacramento. As you may know, the UC Davis Continuing and Professional Education is here to help provide skills for our area that are appropriate to the university, and Python definitely fits in that bucket. We have jobs data from a analytics capability that scrapes all the jobs postings that are out there on LinkedIn and Monster and Glassdoor and other sites, and takes out all the duplicates, and then allows us to see things like how many jobs in the last year asked for Python as a skill set, how many job postings. And so this is that data within Sacramento region, Sacramento and nearby counties. There were almost 6,000 job postings asking for Python, which is quite a lot, that were unique. There were a lot more duplicates across all the different job sites. Sacramento is the primary place for that, with Placer County, Nevada City, et cetera, being next. The Bay Area, right next door, San Francisco and San Jose metro areas, there are over 100,000 job postings in those areas. So we're with California, the technology hub, and Python is one of the key skill areas. It's an important skill for technology work in this area, and a good capability to develop if you're interested in going into technology. And it has very broad application. I'm going to launch a poll as well. And that is just Python does have broad applications, data applications, software development. There are other uses. And so just getting your votes as to which angle you're working towards in having this interest to develop Python or further develop Python as a skill, please let us know. All right, we have last results coming in. Okay, and I'm going to share the results. So most of you are here interested in the data applications of Python, and I'll say that the professional concentration that we're proposing, builds your Python core knowledge, and then the subsequent courses focus on the various Python libraries that work with data analysis and presentation. So it'll be appropriate for you. A lot of the software development applications of Python also are in the data realm, so that's good to see. All right. So in this area, in that jobs data that I just shared, this is the list of jobs that were posted amongst those 5,000, and you can see that actually I have something in the way so I can't see it as well, but you can see that the jobs that are calling for Python are heavily on the software side, back-end engineers that need to have data aspects or use Python for other pieces, DevOps, site reliability, and software folks. There are data scientists, though, that use Python extensively, and our inference is that a fair amount in machine learning engineers, of course, a fair amount of these folks are using data applications of Python, and then there are just some pure data applications of Python. This was a long list of jobs like data analyst were further down on the list. And then I don't know if any of you have seen this, but if you Google Stack Overflow Developer Survey, there's some really great data about what technologists think and want and do, tools that they use, frameworks that they use, experience levels, etc. It's a great survey for folks that are interested in coming into the space to peruse. This particular item in the survey is about most wanted languages, the languages that the developers and folks that work in the development space most want to learn. Python is at the top of the list. Python is in the top, I think it's in the top 3 on the most loved of languages. And I think it's mostly because of the fact that so many extensions and libraries are being added via Python that it really extend its capabilities, that's in this space. And so this concentration is pointed at helping people to be able to take advantage of all that's being built in Python. So I have one more poll for you. And that is this. In thinking about Python, are you thinking about using Python for working in Sacramento, maybe working remotely in Sacramento for a job out of state, angling for a position or enhancing your career in the Bay Area, Southern California, or other? I think we've covered it all, maybe international. Great, okay, super. A few more votes coming in. All right, good. I'll end the polling and share results. So Sacramento edges just barely. Fair amount of folks think that they may use Python in Bay Area with the skill set. Southern California a teeny bit, and out of state a fair amount. So this is really interesting to see this distribution, and I thank you all for helping us to understand what you're thinking about as you contemplate this program. Okay, so that's what Lynette and I have to share today. A brief overview of what we intend to do with the program, and then some data indicating the value of the skill in the marketplace. And we want to hear from you if you have questions for us at this time. And you can do that by putting the questions in the Q&A section that you'll find in the bottom navigation bar.
Or the chat box is also, you can use that as well if you want to ask some questions there. And also, just to let everyone know, we will be having another information session in mid to late April. So by then, we'll have some more details about the program that we'll be able to share. So that will be, great to join to have that information. So for example, here in the Q&A, someone asked what the cost of the course would be. And that is precisely the information that we haven't yet solidified. So that information will be shared at the next information session. But if you want to get an idea at where our certificates and professional concentration programs are priced, you're welcome to navigate and explore our website and see what the ranges of prices there. And I'll go ahead and just put that in the chat so you guys can have it, and just go to the website when you're finished.
Yeah, and then the next question is, well, actually, let me just reinforce what Lynette said. Once we have the final plan for this launch in place, then we'll launch all the detailed information on our website. Lynette, are we going to be able to email people when that's the case, and just let them know that the program information is launched?
Yeah, I think we can do that.
Yeah, so I think and this stuff will all be it'll be spelled out. In terms of our plan to offer the courses, we do ultimately we do plan to stagger the offering, as one of you have asked, about twice a year. We haven't finalized that plan either, but that's our intent. And it'll be known as we launched. Our plan will be confirmed. But right now, in our schedule, we have it planned for twice a year. And then in terms of prerequisites, as another person asked, there aren't any prerequisites to come into course one. So the ramp for Python. It's one of the more approachable programming languages and high utility, as noted. And so our ramp here is you can start from zero and you can come in with course one and we'll teach you Python. So this is the right ramp for somebody who wants to start out. And then if you already have some, you may want to skip ahead to the intermediate course two.
Yeah, and I just want to note that I just put in the Python page from our website in the chat. So you guys can refer back to that. That's where we'll have the updated information as we get it. So you can keep checking back there. But you'll also be welcome to contact me directly if you have any questions. And I'm just going to drop in my email there for everyone. So you guys can just reach out and, feel free to just ask me like, any updates with the program, when will the program start? And I'll be giving you that information as we finalize it as well on our end. Okay, so here's another question that's asking if this program will be available in 2022. Yes, it will be. So we're looking to launch the first running of the courses this year, but we'll be offering it again next year. And I believe we're planning to start with the introduction course in the winter quarter. So that would be early 2022. But again, as Alex mentioned previously, we are planning to offer the courses staggered at least twice a year. So there will definitely be an opportunity to take it in 2022.
Yeah, and this in your specific case is exactly why we're launching this program, is to help to extend people's capability to develop their skill sets after taking something like our web developer certificate program, or after taking one of our data analytics programs. Python is a really great extension for that.
So no other questions. Any last questions from anyone? Again, you have my email address, so if you think about a question later, feel free to reach out directly. And this session is also being recorded, so we'll be happy to share that with you all as well in a few days.
Good. Well, everybody, thank you so much for joining us today. I hope this information was useful. And as we get more information out there, we're looking forward to letting you know, and then finding out this program can be of utility for you in your career.
Yep, thank you for joining us, everyone. It was great to come on here and talk about the program, and we look forward to hearing back from everyone to hear more about your interest. All right, then we'll be finishing up here then. Thank you, everyone, and have a great rest of your day. Bye.